Today we're gonna be ranking all of the Terraria bosses. So, Mobile Terraria 1.3 is almost out. It's gonna come out on the 27th of August, 10 days from this recording. And, 1.4, which I'm gonna be making a series on, is supposed to release at some point later this year, in a couple of months probably. Around the time school starts, or Christmas break, somewhere around there. But yeah. We're going to be ranking all the bosses today. There are 15 bosses in Terraria, which is an absolutely absurd amount for a vanilla game. But some of these are not even that threatening, and some of them are a little bit too hard. So, let's get into it. So bouncing into the number 15 spot, we have King Slime. Now, King Slime is the most easy and cheesable boss in the game. Literally, all you need is some shurikens and an adequate bow with frostburn arrows, and this guy becomes a cakewalk. Here's how you beat him. You build a pillar of rope about 30 blocks high, climb to the top of it, summon the King Slime boss, and then just hold down left click, and you'll eventually kill him. It's really easy. In the number 14 spot, we have something that might surprise some people. We have Golem. Now, Golem is an endgame boss that you fight after defeating Plantera and heading into the lizard dungeon. But here's how you beat him. It's incredibly easy. There's a weapon in the game called a Mega Shark, which is really popular. All you need is a Mini Shark, which costs 35 gold from the arms dealer, illegal gun parts for 25 gold at night from the arms dealer, 20 Souls of Might, which you get from killing a destroyer, and 5 shark fins, which you get from killing sharks in the ocean. Once you make this, you get a bunch of chlorophyte bullets by combining musket balls with chlorophyte bars, head to the dungeon, build a long platform, put teleporters on each side, run in one direction, and hold down left click pointing at the golem, and then you win. It's incredibly easy. You can see me execute the strategy in the gameplay in the background. It's really easy to kill the golem. He's just an incredible pushover. There's really nothing that, he's not threatening you at all. Quick disclaimer, I'm kind of sick during this video, so yeah, I'm just really mucusy. Don't envision it. So number 13 spot, we have the Eye of Cthulhu. Now in expert mode, this boss got some noticeable buffs. And by noticeable, I mean they go berserk in their second phase. By the way, all of this footage is taken in normal mode because, well, it's easier to show off all forms of the boss fight in normal mode because they die quicker. But yeah, so the Eye of Cthulhu is still an easy boss even with these buffs. All you need to do is change up your strategy a little bit. In normal mode, it's incredibly easy to beat the Eye of Cthulhu by building a couple rows of platforms and just kind of like jumping around and going up and down and back and forth. But in expert mode, this strategy is kind of, it doesn't work because of the Eye of Cthulhu's berserk mode where it just charges really fast. So here's how you nullify it. You build a really long skybridge runway thing across a long expanse of your world. And you just keep running in one direction and shooting at the Eye of Cthulhu with pretty much the same weapons you would use for King Slime. And suddenly, the eye goes away. Yeah, it's really cool. And also, in expert mode, this boss is extra useful because it drops the Shield of Cthulhu, which I guarantee you'll be using for a lot of the vanilla game. In the number 12 spot, we have the cousin of the Eye of Cthulhu, the Brain of Cthulhu. So, the Brain of Cthulhu is the Crimson boss of the game, which you can fight as early as you want to, as long as you have bombs. And basically, how you summon it, you break 3 Crimson Hearts, and it poof, it's there. Or you can grind out and get a bloody spine from killing a bunch of Crimson enemies, and use that in the Crimson biome. I need to take a breath. So, how do you defeat the Brain? Simple. You break a Crimson Heart, you wait for a meteor to fall, you get the space gun and the meteor set of armor, and you win. Or you can just use a bow with Jester's arrows, which I do a lot as well. But basically, this boss is incredibly easy, and it's basically just a segue boss to get you into light pre-hard mode with its Crimtane and tissue sample drops, which you can use to make Crimtane armor, and the Deathbringer pickaxe, which lets you get Hellstone. I'm playing too much Minecraft, I swear. In number 11, we have the Destroyer. This boss is actually kind of threatening. It's a giant worm made of metal that shoots lasers at you and spawns mini probes that can be really annoying. But there's one fatal weakness, and it's called the Daedalus Stormbow. Here's how you get it. and then you instantly win the fight with holy arrows. It's like, it's the easiest thing. The boss just becomes completely nerfed once you get the Daedalus Stormbow. It's easy. It's easy, man. In number 10, we have the twins. The twins are basically, at first glance, they're just two eyes of Cthulhu, but these guys are scarier. Why? Because they shoot things at you, and they're also made of metals. So yeah, you basically fight these two guys at the same time using your Mega Shark that you probably crafted if you killed the Destroyer first, and if not, you can just use like a clockwork assault rifle that you get from the Wall of Flesh. But basically, you just go up and down and around, and you just shoot at them, and then eventually, they'll turn not even final form on your butt, and then they'll just start shooting even faster at you, and charging even faster. Well, I mean, Retinizer doesn't even charge anymore, but Spasmatism lives up to his name. He's a spaz. So yeah, kill him first, and then you win the fight. It's really that easy. So in number 9, we have Skeletron. And actually, a lot of people don't know this, you can summon Skeletron in 2 different ways. The normal way, or you can go and get a Clothier voodoo doll from dungeon enemies and kill the Clothier. Don't though, you don't want to make James mad. Anyway, so you can just do one simple technique with Skeletron, and it's called running and jumping. Yeah, I mean, he'll try and flail at you with his arms sometimes, but you can just jump up and down and double jump, and you'll probably be able to avoid them reliably as long as you don't hang out too close to them. But this boss is actually really difficult in expert modes, which is why I bumped it up a couple of spots, because in normal mode, you could kill it with iron armor and a couple of shurikens, but in expert mode, it's advised that you might get Crimtane or Hellstone armor before you actually fight this guy. He's pretty strong. But after you kill him, you get access to the dungeon, and it's all worth it. In number 8 spot, we have Duke Fishrun. Now, for some reason, a lot of people hate this guy. I don't know why. He's really not that hard. All you need to do is this magical technique called a figure 8. What you do is you fly up, you go to the right, you fall down, you keep going to the right as you fly up, and then you go reverse on this button, go to the left as you go down and up. And you basically just go in a loop-de-loop of a figure 8, and then he can't kill you, as long as you don't run face first into his tornadoes, like you can see I do a couple times here. He's really not that hard. I don't know why people hate this boss. He's easy, and he gives you a lot of good stuff too that you can help you get through the end game. So, yeah, besides the fact that this guy's really hard to summon, he's not that hard of a boss. In number 7, we have the Eater of Worlds. Now, the reason that this guy is actually pretty high up is because without using the ancient thing called the Water Bolt, this guy's actually kind of difficult. If you're using something like a musket or even like unholy arrows, he's kind of hard to kill. And in this footage, I used the Space Gun, which, if you guys remember, absolutely destroyed the Brain of Cthulhu. But it's actually not that good against the Eater of Worlds, even though the Space Gun combo is known to be one of the most devastating pre-hard mode combos. So how do you beat him? You use the Water Bolt. Or Jester's Arrows. But I suggest Water Bolt. In number 6, we have the Queen Bee. This is not that easy of a boss fight. This is not that easy of a boss fight, but it's also not that hard. The only annoying thing is that in expert mode, the boss actually continuously travels faster, and by travels, I mean dashes at you. But other than that, it's really not that hard to dodge. And there is a technique you can get down with these quick dodges. If you have 2 layers of platforms, you can just jump up on one, then go down, then up, then down. And there isn't like, you don't need to use gravity to fall when you jump, and you don't need to jump again. I don't know, it's hard to explain. Just basically, when he charges once, jump up onto the platform, charges again, then fall onto the platform below, and then just rinse, repeat. It's actually not that hard. In number 5, we have quite a surprising thing for me, because I used to think this boss was really easy. But actually getting the footage for this, he's actually pretty hard. Skeletron Prime. I don't know what it is, but this guy's not that easy. I mean, he's kind of hard to die to in normal mode, because you can just run away from him when he's doing his whirly-twirly attack. And you can just spam your Mega Shark with crystal bullets, and you'll kill him eventually. but he's actually kind of formidable if you don't do that. If you're fighting this boss for the first time, all I suggest doing is kind of the same thing you did with the Eye of Cthulhu, but a bit more careful, and abuse the minimap as much as possible. In number 4, we have another surprising entry at the top 5. It's the Lunatic Cultist. This guy isn't even that much of a formidable boss. He's meant to be a gateway boss, and honestly, I used to think this guy was easy. But that's only with certain overpowered combos and weapons that you can get. When you're trying to do something like a base ranger loadout that you would use at this time in the game, he's really hard. Like, I don't know what it is, but he's not that easy. So basically, what are my techniques for him? Fly around, memorize his attack patterns, and know when he's gonna do his clone thing, and always fight him at night, because then it's really easy to see which one is the real one. In spot number 3, we have quite the big boss in the game. It's pretty important you kill this guy, because without killing him, you can't get into the second half of content. It's the Wall of Flesh. Now this really disgusting underworld boss is the last you fight in pre-hard mode, and gives you some pretty drops. Besides the Pwn Hammer and the Demon Heart in expert mode, and the Clockwork Assault Rifle arguably, this guy doesn't have that good drops, but they're okay. Basically, the point of this fight is you either use a water walking potion to just walk backwards while you shoot at him, or you build a big old platform and you just walk backwards while shooting at him, in normal mode. But in expert mode, this guy gets really hard to kill. He starts to shoot lasers really quickly, and he goes really fast at the end of the fight. If you're using a water walking potion in expert mode, good luck, because the moment you run into one of those obsidian towers, you're done for, because he will just ram straight into you before you can mine anything. In normal mode, you get some time. In expert mode, you're dead. So basically, be on your feet, build a hell bridge if you want to, and if you don't, good luck. In number 2, we have the boss that a lot of people probably expected to be number 1. It's the Moonlord. Now, the Moonlord is really, really hard. Like, pretty freaking hard. In normal mode, it's definitely doable with non-Duke Fishrun, like, you know, weapons and stuff. I mean, in this fight, I basically used mediocre accessories, my armor, and the vortex beater, and it was easy. I mean, it wasn't that hard. It was just very, very long, I guess, but in expert mode, things get really tough. Because, well, his laser does like 400 damage, and he takes a lot of damage to kill. So, basically just, this guy, I'd say he deserves the title of final boss, but not quite the title of number 1 on my list. So now you guys are probably wondering, who is number 1 on my list? Plantera. Now this is a shocker to a lot of people, but Plantera is really difficult for me. And I know there are some strategies to make her easier, like build a platform in the middle of your arena so when she shoots the spike balls, you can jump. But listen, I'm small brain, I never remember to do that. And I thought in normal mode, oh, I don't need to do that for Plantera. I got close to dying many times while collecting this footage. Those spiky balls, even though they don't seem that formidable, sometimes the ricochet physics will screw you over because, haha, I can. So yeah, that was my list for ranking all of the Terraria bosses. If you want me to do a more in-depth guide on any of them, please comment down below, and if you want me to do any more rankings for Terraria, or really any, like, mods, I guess, then comment below. Like the video if you want to see more Terraria videos, and if you're hyped for 1.4 to come out on PC. And yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, see you next month. That's a bad joke.